Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we have 3 cows with us. And I'm going to turn them because they all 3 of them want to go on their backs, and that's not going to work for me. So today we're doing Audhumla readings, and Audhumla was of course the ancient first cow in the ancient Norse mythology that who was the hornless cow rich in milk, whose milk nourished the new life forms, etc., etc. So the question is, what is nourishing you right now? And so we have 3 cows to choose from. We have a black and white cow, we have a cream colored cow, and we have a brown and white cow. Yes, I know these all have specific names, but I'm not going to bother with them. Yes, I do know them. But it's easier just to say black and white, cream color, or brown and white for our purposes. So feel into these cows. One of these cows has a message for you about what is nourishing you right now. And I will put the timestamps in the descriptions, and I will see you there. Bye! Hello, black and white cow people, Holstein cow people. I'm going to move the black and white cow over here. I don't know how to get her so that she's not rolling over. So anyway, she can be, oh my gosh, she stayed. Okay, well that's cool. I'm going to be reading with the maple runes. And let's see what is nourishing you right now. So let's see. What is nourishing the people who were drawn to the black and white cow? Okay. Doody-doody-doo. The very exciting part where I'm actually putting them down. Okay, we're going to go further than this, but I'm going to start with this. So, your central issue and what is nourishing you is basically, I'm going to read this as work. You are engaged in taking care of things that you feel responsible for and that are good duties, but you feel like you're really energized to go forward and do these things, and it's really making you feel worthy, and that you're using your time in a worthwhile way, and it's really nourishing you. It's giving you nourishment to be able to do this, and that's, I mean, it always would, but leading up to this, you've had a period of time where things were just basically stuck and frozen. Maybe you weren't able to do what you wanted to be getting on with, and now you finally are. So we had Isa, which is the frozen time, and we have Tivaz, Tears Rune, Tears the warrior god, and he has to do with picking up and going forward, but also attending duties and responsibilities. So now that you're back doing that, you feel much better, and that is actually giving you some nourishment. What is helping you here especially is that it really does help your inner worth. It builds your confidence, it helps your self-esteem. We have Fehu reversed. Fehu's the rune of wealth and worth. It's cattle, so we have some cattle here, but specifically cows. But it's basically your confidence, your wealth and your worth, and it is reversed, and it's on the upper line. So what's helping you is your sense of inner worth. It's really thriving on the nourishment that you get from just being of use, like helping people out and just getting things done. It's really, really helping you right now. What isn't helping? We have Laguz reversed. Laguz is the rune of, it's the lake, so it's all the emotional stuff like emotion, intuition, and heart. You maybe feel like sometimes you're worried that your heart isn't going to be in it. Even though, I mean, that's basically, you're worried that coming back to it as you have, from, I guess, a long time that you haven't been doing it, you feel like maybe my heart's not going to be in it, which is basically, it's like a sort of a doubting of yourself in terms of, well, basically behind all that is just this unknown sort of thing. It's like, maybe I've lost what I had, and maybe this is what it's going to be. I've fallen into a pit and I've lost everything, blah, 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 blah. And it's basically, you're sort of worried that your heart's not going to be in it. Maybe you're not as emotionally connected to it anymore, but it's still nourishing you, and bring yourself back up to that. If you start to feel like maybe that's the case, bring yourself back up to that, or maybe you're having unpleasant emotions that maybe are like causing you to sink down to a certain extent. So if that starts to happen, just bring yourself back up to how confident you feel, and how it's really helping your inner worth. And also look at what you're getting from it. You're already seeing results from what you're doing, and it's really, really helping. So what this is going to lead to is we have Hagalaz. Hagalaz is the rune of the hailstorm, and it has to do with chaos, and it has to do with natural forces, natural energies. Doopy-doo. I'm throwing down things while I'm reading. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So basically, this allows you to step forward once you get everything settled, like a routine kind of thing, because that's what you're really doing right now, is you're getting this routine put in place, which can give you this inflow of nourishment. Once that's in place, you can then step forward, and you will, into more unorganized states of things. You have this established, like this, your duties and responsibilities are sort of the foundation, but you're going to be able to take that and build on top of that by moving into areas that you haven't been before, in terms of what you're doing, and in terms of it's not as structured, but you have this base of what is giving you nourishment. So you are able to, with the strength of that and with the confidence of that, move into this. Now what's going to help is, and that's why I said you're going to still have this, is we have Othala. Othala is the rune of home and the homeland, which says to me that this is basically your foundation. The duties and responsibilities that you are taking care of that give you nourishment are the foundation, sort of your home base, that is going to allow you to take it a little bit further and move out into where it may be a little bit more uncontrolled. What isn't going to help is when you move out into that you're going to want to shape that as well. You're going to want to force that into shape as well. And sometimes that's just not going to happen, and that can be really more frustrating. Bring yourself back up to, well, I'm coming from a very organized and ordered home state of, like, state of mind, state of where you're coming from, even physically, because this is not reversed. So if you step out into the uncharted wilds, it's not going to be as threatening for you, because you always have this to go back to. And what this is going to lead you to is, we have Raidho reversed. Now I'm going to read this a couple ways. Raidho is the Journey Rune. It is reversed, and it's on the path line. So I'm going to read this A as inner journey. This is going to allow you to have an inner sort of, you take your journey more inward, as far as, you're going to be exploring aspects of yourself. You're going to be exploring inner feelings, things that you normally wouldn't face, but it's going to be turning it inward. You're not going to be going out as much. Also, you're not going to be going out as much. It's reversed. So it's sort of like if you were going to go on like an outward journey, that's not going to be so much what's going on. It's much more inner. And finally, I'm seeing this as sort of the end of something. Given that this is the first one that we got, I'm seeing this as the end of the frozen state. So maybe you were in lockdown, for example. Maybe you had, you couldn't go out, and you missed the duties that you had when you were out, because those gave you meaning. And now you've basically, once you've got through this and organized your home state of, taking care of everything, which gives you the nourishment, and also being able to use that base as being able to step out into the chaos every once in a while and take that with you wherever you go, without trying to change the things, just having that as your nourishment. You can basically put an end to what this all was going on before you picked up your sword again and started to do good things. So that, black and white cow people, is your reading. I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, cream-colored cow people. So I'm going to move the cream-colored cow over here, and she is going to not sit up like that. So she's going to sort of rest on her ear. But that's okay. She can rest on her ear. And we're going to use the maple runes and see what message the cream-colored cow has about what is nourishing you right now. So what do we have? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Oh, and that's also interesting, but not for the same reason. Doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. I will be pulling more than just the 5 I'm going to start with. I'm just going to start with the 5. Okay, let's see what we have. So right now what's nourishing you is a really big challenge that you have embraced. We have Thurisaz reversed. Thurisaz is the rune of the challenge, and it has to do with, it's the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It is reversed, and it's in the central issue. So it's basically an almost impossible challenge. Like, it's a huge challenge. Like, this is like a lifetime's work kind of challenge. So you finally faced this challenge, and you are taking it head on, and that is bringing you some great nourishment. Leading up to this, there was a long period of time where nothing was happening. We have Isa, the rune of ice, and this is basically, it's like you were stuck, you weren't able to move forward, you were frozen, and now you're like, I got to do something. I've got to do something about this. And now you are taking on this challenge, which you're like, even if this turns out to be impossible, I have to try. And just the fact that you are doing that, just the fact that you are trying, is bringing you so much nourishment. Now, what is helping here is we have Ingvaz. Ingvaz is the rune of Ing, and Ing is another name for Frey. Frey is the fertility god, and this has to do with active creation. So a couple things this could be. This could be maybe you've turned to something creative that you're working on, that you're actually actively working on. So some creative pursuit. B, I'm going to read this as, you are looking around you and you're looking and saying, what can I control? What can I change? Because that's what I'm going to do. The things around me that I can do something about, I'm going to do something about them. And that's what you're doing. And that's what's going to help you get over this big challenge. What isn't going to help is worrying about the journey, basically. You've been still for so long that you're sort of hesitant to take any journey of this kind, to start any journey of this kind. And beyond that, you're worried about support. You're worried about what support you might have or not have. These are both upright, and these are both in the lower line. So that means these are worries, because these are very positive runes otherwise. So you're worried about the journey ahead, and you're worried about what support you might have. So it's Raido. Raido is the journey rune, and Algiz, which is the rune of protection and support. So these are some worries that you have. If that starts to drag you down, bring yourself back up to, well, you know what? I'm going to control what I can, and you know what else? I am really strong. This is Uruz. It's the rune of the wild ox, and it has to do with strength and health. The wild ox is inherently strong. The wild ox does not lift weights, so it is inherently strong, and so are you. And that's what's going to help you, that you can actually take all this on. This is a seemingly impossible challenge, but it's giving you great nourishment, and through it you're saying, look, what can I control? And I'm going to do that. What this is going to lead to, your next step, is we have Laguz reversed. Now, Laguz is the rune of the lake, and it has to do with, well, it's water. So it's all the watery stuff. So it's emotion, intuition, and heart. And the thing about it is reversed, but it's on the path line. And what I'm seeing is, the first thing I saw this as was a lot of the negative emotions that had just been like numbed, like a lot of the emotions, not even negative, but a lot of the emotions from inside. You're going to notice the negative ones, but they can finally flow again, and it's going to be a bit of an outpouring because it has to be. It's just let it happen. It's weather. What's going to help you with that is communication. Have somebody that you trust, somebody that you care about, and somebody who's willing to listen. Be able to communicate what you're going through, even if you're just writing it down. Make sure that you're writing it down, because that'll help it flow. What won't help is, another positive rune in the negative line, which is a fear. You're afraid of new beginnings, because I didn't have all these problems emotionally when I was stuck and frozen. Well, of course not, because you were stuck and frozen. Now that you're moving forward, so is all that. So you got to let that weather flow through you. So you're worried about new beginnings. You're worried about this new birth that you're doing of yourself, Berkana, beginnings and birth. It's birch tree. So bring yourself back up to where, you know what, I'm just going to express my way through this. I'm going to write this all out. I'm going to talk to somebody I trust or somebody I love and get myself through this. And you will, because after all of this, you're going to find, here's Vunyo. Vunyo is the rune of joy. It is reversed on the path line, but I'm seeing this as, after you've flowed out all of the emotions that hadn't been moving, then the joy can start to come through from deep inside. I'm also going to read this as you will be aware of where you are uncomfortable and where you are discontent. and you can actually address that. But mostly I'm seeing this as a flow, like things were really, really frozen and stuck and stagnant and just stuck. And you basically said, I've got to do something. I don't, even if this is not going to work, I've got to do what I can do. And you've done what you could do. You do right now, you're working on that. You're doing whatever you can control, you are doing. Once things start to flow in that direction, once you declutter all that, things will start to flow. You'll ride through it. You'll weather that storm. And then, I mean, the storm rune isn't even here, but it's basically just all that coming through. And at the bottom of that, not at the bottom of that, but once you work all that through, you're going to find your deep inner joy once more, and that's going to start to flow through as well. So that, cream-colored cow people, is your reading. And what is nourishing you is this challenge you are facing. So good luck. All that. I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, brown and white cow people. I'm going to take my finger off this hoof and she's going to roll right over. So that's all I can do with that. How about I just stand her here? Because she faces the other way anyway, and I like to build on this side. So I'm just going to stand her. She's just going to stand there. Okay. So I'm going to use the maple runes, and we're going to see what is giving you nourishment right now. Okay, interesting. That's cool, because that was the rune. Okay, I'm not going to... Out of context. Very cool, though. Okay, so I'm going to start with a 5, and we'll build on that. So your central issue and what is nourishing you right now is we have Laguz. Laguz is the rune of the lake. It's water. It's all the watery stuff. So emotion, intuition, and heart. There, that's better. She actually stays upright that way. And so basically your feelings and your heart is nourishing you. Now that you're listening to your heart, you've basically turned inward. You're sort of birthing a new identity at this point, a new yin identity. It's Berkana, so it's Berkana, the rune of birth and beginnings. Right now, you've just started this. Sometimes Berkana you read as like an ending, but I'm really seeing this as you've reached deep and you have started to bring through a new identity that is naturally forming. And because of this, you can feel again, and like maybe you hadn't been able to feel like really for a while, and so that's really helping you, and you feel much more connected to heart, and that is really giving you a lot of nourishment right now. What is going to help with this is we have Ingvaz. Ingvaz is the rune of Ing, who is another name for Frey. Frey is the fertility god, and this has to do with active creation. So doing something creative is going to help, as well as looking around yourself and saying, okay, I can't control everything, but what can I control? And basically working on that and try to shape that. But I am really seeing creativity being a major thing for you right now. What isn't going to help is we have Vunyo reversed. Vunyo is the rune of joy, and it's reversed and it's on the lower line. So one, you're a bit worried about being unhappy, but 2, maybe you are not. Maybe you feel like I should be happier, and maybe that's dragging you down. And also the fact that you can fixate on that. You know that that's something that you will fixate on. If you're not happy, even with a tiny thing, you can fixate on that and make it blow up and do a huge thing. So that's something that could drag you down if you let it. You've got a really big heart, and that's just part of having a really big heart. Now, so if that starts to be the case, you're going to want to take sword in hand and just go forward and make yourself do this creative thing that you're doing. Sort of lose yourself in it and just make it your duty. If it doesn't come naturally, sit yourself to it, because once you sit yourself to it, it's going to start coming, and that will help you with your heart, with your emotional flow. It'll help you weather the storm of that, and that's what's going to help you the most. Because when you're connected to heart, this does nourish you. This brings in the nourishment, milk of origins. It's all good. And what this will lead you to, once you sort of master this balance of sort of not controlling your emotions, but allowing them and sort of working with them in a direction that it's like you're not. I want to say pruning your emotions in terms of like making, sort of gently nudging them to grow in a direction that isn't one that will be toxic for them. your next step is going to be, you have a challenge that you need to face. It's not a hard challenge. It is an open door. It's the thorn, the giant, the gateway. It is upright. So the gateway is open. What it's going to take is just a little bit of courage to get through this door. So the challenge you face after this point, what's going to help you? Thorn, giant, gateway, etc., etc. You will be facing that once you sort of master this balance. Like, this thing I always wanted to do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take that step. What's going to help you is you already know what's nourishing you. You already know what's giving you energy. So tap into that, whatever your source energy is. We have Sovila, which is the rune of the sun. And the sun is about tapping into source energy. It's about illuminating the darkness. It's all that good stuff. And tap into that. Tap into your source energy, whatever lights up the world for you, and whatever in conjunction with how your heart nourishes you, like that brings in what brings you nourishment. So too will whatever brings your source energy give you what you need to get through this. What isn't going to help is you may not feel worthy yet. You may feel like, I don't feel like I'm worthy of this. We have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. It is upright, very positive, but it's on the lower line, so that's a fear. You're worried about, I think I'm finally ready to step forward and do this thing that I've wanted to do for so long. And it is a challenge because I'm worried about it, but I'm not sure if I'm worthy of it. You are. Just do it. You just do it. Just take that step, because you will always regret not taking the step if you don't. And it's right in front of you at this point. So yeah, tap into your source energy, tap into what it nourishes you, and just let it carry you through. And on the other side, what is waiting for you? Inner strength. We have Uruz reversed. Uruz is the rune of the wild ox, and it has to do with strength and health. And it's on the other side of this door. So once you get through this, you will feel, oh yeah, I am worthy. I am very strong. You'll feel that inner strength. And this that you began to develop in yourself, you will feel even stronger in that by the time you get through that challenge. So that, brown and white cow people, is your reading. I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.